This ranking is based on the play score, a standard rating that averages gamer reviews and critic reviews. Opening our list at the top 10 PS4 military shooters is Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. A responsive open world and fun co-op, Ubisoft shooter takes you to the godforsaken Bolivia, a drug-filled country owned by the notorious Santa Blanca cartel. They spread hate, violence, and injustice among their people, and your job is to stop them from turning the place into a narco-state empire. As part of the Ghosts, a badass version of the DEA, lead your elite team of hard hitters and strategists to take them down. Control the land, air, or sea, and destabilize their operations before they go boom. Plan your means of pissing them off by raiding their outposts and eliminating the hostile threats in third-person action. You have the complete freedom to do what you want in its open-world environment. As long as you have your resources, you're good to go. Wildlands' best feature lies in its cooperative multiplayer. Call 3 of your friends locally or online to hit them where it hurts. Want them to do reconnaissance from afar or assign them as your getaway partners? Your choice. With its customizable loads, beautiful environments, dynamic weather, and intense action, Wildlands received positive acclaim. However, its server issues, repetitive gameplay, and replay value poses as a concern for most players. It has a play score of 8.11. At number 9 is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. If Tom Clancy's latest Ghost Recon game lets you take down drug empires, Rainbow Six's latest game does the busting in high-stakes environmental destruction and cooperative fun. It's the 11th entry of the famed Rainbow Six series after the untimely cancellation of Rainbow Six Patriots. Acting as a reboot, this first-person shooter doesn't involve any single-player story, only a series of single-player missions with little to no narrative. The game's primary focus is its multiplayer mode, which by far is Rainbow Six's finest. Master the art of destruction, close quarters combat, tactics, and team play because you're gonna need all of these. As part of a global anti-terrorist group, lay siege to every enemy territory with your wide variety of destructive tools. With over 5 game modes and 11 unique maps, it's almost impossible to enjoy this game without a friend. Communicate with your allies and fulfill your objectives for that sweet procedural destruction. Praised for its brilliant gameplay design and fun multiplayer options, Siege is a great game to enjoy with friends. It has a play score of 8.13. Number 8 is Tom Clancy's The Division. 3 Tom Clancy games in a row? From drug-stopping soldiers to anti-terrorism assaults, this entry takes you to dystopian New York in the far future. After a terrible smallpox epidemic, follow an elite squadron of soldiers called the Division, dedicated to find the mysterious source of the virus. This third-person shooter is brimming with mad delights and post-apocalyptic mayhem. No one dead, just insane people. It mixes role-playing and shooter in one game. It was met with positive acclaim upon the game's release. It shares the similar elements from Bungie's Destiny, which involves resource collecting and world sharing. Some even stated it feels like a shooter version of Guild Wars and World of Warcraft. But despite its atmosphere and good praise, the game is marred by server issues and content variety. Nonetheless, the game's main selling point lies in its multiplayer. Go with your squad and enter the Dark Zone, a competitive arena built for intense shooting action. It's separate from the game's main story, making it inconsequential to your single-player adventures. Climb the leaderboards and prove your might to the desolate city of New York. This game has a play score of 8.30. Number 7 is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. This game ranked number 1 on our Xbox One military shooters. Sledgehammer's first Call of Duty game takes you to the future where exosuits are a normal thing and Kevin Spacey stealing every scene he's in. Technology has overcome society and it's the year 2054. The United States is still the world's leading superpower, but it's met with heavy resistance from other countries also vying for supremacy. Just your typical war love story. According to most reviews, the story was most coherent compared to the previous COD installments. It's filled with high-stakes action and tense drama. With the addition of the exosuit, movement is more advanced, making players move from one place to another seamlessly and with style. Aside from that, it buffs your character to a tremendous degree. Yeah, the single-player campaign may be fun, but the core feature of the game is in its multiplayer mode. It's still similar to the previous COD titles, but with your badass exosuit, you can unleash your high-tech carnage at your enemies. Additionally, its Zombies mode packs a good undead fun with its own single-player story and co-op mode. It has a play score of 8.36. Number 6 is Sniper Elite 4. Nazi killing couldn't be more fun in Rebellion's latest entry. Wartime Italy is slowly being consumed by the evil of fascism. As Carl Fairburn, it is your task to eliminate these vile human beings, one bullet at a time. After the events of the first game, follow him as he leads his band of brothers to restore Italy to its rightful place. As the latest entry to their award-winning series, it greatly improves on all fronts. With the game's enhanced verticality, players can now increase the chances of finding the perfect spot of infiltration and stealth. Just customize your loadout and choose from the game's wide arsenal of juicy World War II weapons. But what sets the Sniper Elite series apart from the other sniper genre is its iconic X-ray kill cam. Landing the precise shot grants you the satisfaction of watching their internal organs get blown up in spectacular fashion. Just by hearing the sound of skulls cracking, balls bursting, and eyes popping brings out the inner demon in you. Aside from the gore, players can also team up with a friend in its cooperative campaign and competitive mode. If the solo experience gets boring, let them join in on your adventures and watch how many heads you can pop. It has a play score of 8.38. At number 5 is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. The third entry of Call of Duty's Black Ops series takes you to the year 2065. 40 years after the first game, set your sights in a dark and gritty future where humanity has blurred the lines between man and machine. With powerful weapons at hand, the countries are facing an international Cold War. In terms of gameplay, the signature shooting from the Call of Duty franchise is still present. Multiplayer is also the game's most loved feature. Same as cooperative mode, team up 4 of your friends in its single-player campaign. Customize them as you see fit and load them out with futuristic gear. Advanced Warfare may have exosuits, but this game has their fair share of momentum-based abilities. The game was very well received. It even outsold Advanced Warfare and Ghosts in terms of sales. However, there isn't much anything new offered to the series. As much as the fans love Treyarch's dedication, this latest entry doesn't move the series in terms of scale and grandeur. Nevertheless, it's a good shooter. It has a play score of 8.47. At number 4 is Battlefield 4. It was DICE's most persistent Battlefield title despite its irritating issues at launch. Building upon the legacy of their previous titles, they upgraded their features to create something new, yet familiar. After updates and updates, thousands of players still continue to play the game today. Packed with an extremely enjoyable multiplayer mode and jaw-dropping devastation, it was one of the very first games to showcase the true power of the Frostbite 3, making every well-designed level into a spectacular fire show. Watch towering structures fall into piles of rubble, exploding vehicles, and heavy artillery coming at you from the distance. It's just so glorious! But amidst the positive acclaim, it was criticized for its lack of single-player elements due to the game's heavy focus on the multiplayer aspect. It was easily forgivable, considering the multiplayer is so good. Culminating all the best features of the franchise, it's undoubtedly one of the greatest Battlefield games yet, with a play score of 8.52. Number 3 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Breaking away from its usual World War II setting, Infinity Ward returns with their classic characters such as Captain Price and Soap McTavish in a grueling civil war. Get caught in a spiral of government conspiracies and military deception because this game brings out a thought-provoking narrative about the horrors of war. During Infinite Warfare's release, players were required to purchase the latest game before grabbing this copy. It bummed fans of the series, considering they don't actually care about Infinite Warfare. As most people. Lucky for them, it's made available to the public as a standalone game just last month. As a remaster done right, you get to see Price's face in high definition. This version runs at a smooth 60 frames per second with 1080p visuals. On top of that, its enhanced sound and textures make it feel like a completely new game. Everybody loves Modern Warfare, and we can't forget the memorable story and characters. We're glad they did justice to this remaster. It has a play score of 8.55. Number 2 is Battlefield 1. And chronological titles aside, don't let it fool you. This is the latest Battlefield game that takes you back to the dawn of war. Experience World War I at its peak and step inside warplanes, trenches, zeppelins, tanks, and more. Its single-player campaign packs a lot of fun. Follow through 6 different chapters in various character perspectives. Watch as their story unfolds in different locations around the world. It may not offer a ton of surprises in its story, but we all know DICE isn't known for its single-player experience. The game's biggest improvement to this entry is its multiplayer. Gather your squad and set the battlefield ablaze in its various multiplayer modes: Conquest, Domination, Rush, and more. Not to mention, you can play as a pigeon. The game's World War I setting is refreshing to some players. Critics and gamers love the game for its intense action experience, making you feel like you're in the middle of a war zone. It has a play score of 8.81. Here are the runners-up before we reveal the number 1. Sniper Elite 3 Ultimate Edition. Hunt some Nazis and save Winston Churchill, along with a renowned Africa core. Packed with some of the best DLCs, it has a play score of 8.09. Battlefield Hardline. Visceral Games venture away from military action and into the dangerous world of crime. It has a play score of 7.93. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Play your role in this bizarre shooting experience with outer space, zero gravity, and zombies. It has a play score of 7.65. Sniper Elite 3. Set off to the vast dunes of North Africa and use stealth to stalk some Nazi prey and kill them in signature gruesome ways. It has a play score of 7.58. Call of Duty Ghosts. Take part in a struggle for freedom and survival in a nation crippled by war. It has a play score of 7.32. You may get these games right now by clicking the links below. And the best PS4 military shooter of all time is Titanfall 2. Gear up and step into the battlefield in a cacophony of clanking metal and beeping giants in this second entry to Respawn Entertainment's colossal franchise. The game introduces new gameplay elements and awesome weapons at your arsenal for even more exhilarating destruction. Its parkour elements were refined and simplified to cater the beginners. Perhaps the biggest appeal to this game is its single-player campaign. Dive into the life of a former operative fighting his way to survival with the help of his loyal Titan. It was praised for its writing and execution, calling it a nice segue to its exhilarating multiplayer action. But among all that, Titanfall 2 excels in its multiplayer mode. With more Titans to choose from, bask in the futuristic mayhem. Choose from among its various modes and dive into the battlefield. Grapple away from great distances, slide, wall run, throw a grenade, and call your mech from the skies. It just doesn't get any better than that. An underrated gem, Titanfall 2 receives a play score of 8.87.